What's good, Detroit Sports Nation? I am Eric Vincent, your host here at the DSN News Desk. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your time and support. As some pretty significant news just dropped in here on the news desk, as Duce Staley, the assistant running back coach for the Detroit Lions, has opted to leave Detroit and is now joining the Carolina Panthers, and Frank Wright, the newly hired coach for the Panthers, to join his staff as, I believe, their running back coach. I don't know if he's there as the offensive coordinator, but I'm guessing he's there as the running back coach. This is pretty important news. This is a pretty big deal as the Lions are taking some pretty promising steps towards their future. Duce Staley was a pretty big part of that. We got a pretty good hint at it during Hard Knocks when we saw Duce Staley's relationship with DeAndre Swift get a lot of FaceTime, because we saw a lot of the fire between those two. We saw and heard how Duce Staley wanted the ceiling for DeAndre Swift to be met, which is what he talked about, the possibility of him being a 1,000-yard rusher as well as a 1,000-yard receiving running back. Very tough to do, but Duce Staley thought that was a very possible future for him. Obviously didn't happen for DeAndre Swift, dealing with the injuries that he had to go through, and then obviously splitting time with Jamal Williams makes it pretty hard to reach those kind of goals. But even with that not being the case, this run game was pretty significant for the Detroit Lions. I mean, they were top 10 for a good chunk of the season. I think they finished off in the middle of the pack around 15, if I'm not mistaken. And Duce Staley was a big part of all that. I mean, we saw Jamal Williams break Barry Sanders' single-season Detroit Lions franchise rushing touchdown record with 16 for the year. We saw his creativity and his passion paired with the creativity of Ben Johnson in scheming for the Detroit Lions offensive line to be very productive and beneficial in terms of how this offense moved. Duce Staley deserves a lot of credit for what we saw from the Detroit Lions this past season. He joined the Dan Campbell regime in 2021 as the assistant and the running back coach, and he's paid a lot of important dividends for this team. So important to the fact that if Ben Johnson was going to leave, which was reported throughout a long period this offseason, if he was going to leave, Duce Staley was one of the hottest names mentioned to replace Ben Johnson as the offensive coordinator. Now, obviously, that didn't happen. Ben Johnson ended up staying here with the Lions, took some interviews with the Indianapolis Colts, interviewed with the Carolina Panthers, the team that just nabbed away at Duce Staley, and ultimately Ben Johnson decided to stay here and continue building the promising future of the Detroit Lions. I'm not mad at him for that, and I ain't mad at Duce Staley for that either. If he thinks the best step for his coaching career is moving in the direction of coaching for a different team with the Panthers and helping their rebuild, then go right ahead. Yeah, I don't think it's as promising as the Lions, but hey, I can't be mad at him for what he wants to do. It's a big opportunity for him. It's a new coaching staff where he believes he's going to have a lot of responsibility to help assert himself in a better position to better himself as a coach. It's a pretty big deal. It's a big deal for the Detroit Lions as well. I haven't seen any reports on who some suitable replacements would be for the Detroit Lions. I believe at this point they might have to hire externally for that position, because I don't believe there's been enough buzz for anybody under Duce Staley to take over at that position. So as of right now, it's blank. It's an open position. There's obviously a hiring for it, but this is just another step of what winning teams have to go through. The assistant coaches are taken off by teams that are rebuilding. They want to come get your coaches. They want to come get your players because they see you doing the right thing. If Duce Staley wasn't no good, he wouldn't be hired right now, or he'd be getting demoted in positions that aren't as promising or uplifting as where he's at now. Like, we see guys like Anthony Lynn, who started off as an offensive coordinator, kind of get demoted to assistants and like kind of, minuscule positions in coaching, for other teams now. I believe he's taking an interview right now with the Commanders to go for their OC. But as of right now, he doesn't have a job. And you see that being a pattern, again, for coaches that are not successful, for players that are not successful. Seeing that Duce Staley was taken by the Panthers, seeing that Aaron Glenn is getting interviews with the Arizona Cardinals, seeing that Ben Johnson was so sought after by numerous teams in the middle of the rumors, it's a good thing. It shows that you're doing the right thing. It shows that you should have the utmost respect and trust in the front office to find that replacement for Duce Staley. I don't think it'll be tough for them to do. I think they can make that happen. I think the Lions are going in a direction where right now that running back position and that grouping is super important because Jamal Williams is a free agent. DeAndre Swift only got, I think, a year or two left on his contract. And considering where his health is, it's not a guarantee on where he is in terms of the Lions' future. We don't know what it holds for him. We don't know what it holds for Jamal Williams. The Lions could be very active in the draft or free agency or in trades, whatever they may do. They could be very aggressive in upgrading that room and making things pretty different for the Lions' future. It's very possible with how they're set up for right now. Now, again, considering the weapons around them, considering they have a top 5 offensive line, considering that Ben Johnson is still here, I have nothing but the utmost faith that that running back group and that core will still be as productive as they were last year. I don't think they're going to take a fall off. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Lions are going to upgrade in the draft to boost up at the guard position for the offensive line to kind of solidify the positioning around the tackles and the center, which is what they desperately need. I really think they're going to do what's best for this team, the smartest thing for this team, to make sure that running back group is set up for the future. I don't think they're going to take an early gamble with running backs. I think maybe they can, the earliest I can see, maybe in the second round. But the Lions don't have good luck in the second round when it comes to running backs. Like, it just doesn't work out for the Lions. Like, whether it was Kerryon Johnson or Mikel LeSure, second-round running backs, the Detroit Lions just don't work out well for some reason. If I'm not mistaken, I think DeAndre Swift was a second-round running back. So, I hope they don't go that route. I hope they wait a little bit. I hope they address those first 5 rounds or the first huge rounds with the biggest picks that they have. With the biggest picks they have, I hope they address them with the biggest needs that they have. On the defense, on the offensive line, not so much in the positions that are looked at as a luxury. Running back to an extent right now is a luxury. You could bring back Jamal Williams for the cheap. You don't have to go super gutsy and, reach balls for the wall and getting somebody super high with a first-round pick. You don't have to do that. You don't have to gamble again on a second-round pick. There's guys late every season in the running back position. You can wait. You can make that right move, and I have all the trust and faith in Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes to do the right thing. I think they will, and we wish the best of luck to Duce Staley. Again, we're not haters over here. We're not bitter. As the Detroit Lions fan base, we should wish him well and say thank you to Duce Staley for what you did for this franchise. We wish you nothing but the best for your career, and hopefully we can get the same coming our way as well. Talk to me in the comment section. I'd love to hear your feedback on what your feedback and your reaction was when you heard that Duce Staley is moving on to a different path. I'd love to hear your feedback. Talk to me in the comment section. Make sure you like the video as well and subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Help us run the subscriptions up to get our way up to 6,000 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer to making that happen. Help us with your support. We would greatly appreciate it. Tap in on our social media as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the above. Search and follow Detroit Sports Nation and lock in with me as well at I am Eric Vincent. Thank you guys so much for your time and support. We greatly appreciate it. I'll be back here again with another update right here from the DSN News Desk. Peace.